This year, I've had the opportunity to sail solo on many of the most popular cruise lines, and I found that some of them have great solo programs, while others not so much. So which lines are the most friendly for solo cruisers? Let's find out. Hello and welcome to my channel. I am Cheryl, also known as SIGCruiser, that's solo, introvert, and gluten-free cruiser. And today I'm coming to you from the Holland America Eurodam. Now today I want to talk about which cruise lines cater the most to solo cruisers. And to do this, I want to look at two categories only: the solo cruiser experience and pricing. Now first, let's talk about the differences between the cruise line's solo cruiser experience and meeting others. In my cruising experience this year, I did find that NCL has a great solo cruiser program and very extensive, with solo meetups every night, arrangements for a solo cruiser dinner, activities, and their solo cruiser lounge. That's one of the top experiences for solo cruisers. And on my sailing on the Breakaway, again, I felt that it was a wide range of ages, wide enough for anyone young or older to find someone to connect with, if not an age and common interest, or just by talking and getting to know each other and connecting that way. Now, kin to that, I would say, was my solo cruiser experience on Virgin Voyages Valiant Lady. Now, this is supposed to be a newly expanded program, so I haven't heard feedback yet on whether this is actually on all Virgin Voyages ships, but the host on Valiant Lady when I sailed said the solo cruiser program expanded to where now it has daily solo meetups. And they still have a hosted dinner at least the first night. And throughout the cruise, what they do is meet up at a location on the ship right before dinner and pair people or group people up and match them with available reservations at their restaurants. The first solo meetup happened on the first day before Sail Away, unlike NCL, which had their meetup at the same time as Sail Away. The Virgin Voyages meetup was a cocktail gathering where they gave out free champagne, and then we walked together as a group to the location where we would be together for the Sail Away. On day 2, they actually had a coffee meetup where the host really explained some of the activities around the ship, made recommendations on things you didn't want to miss, actually explained Virgin Voyages, and really gave you insight about how to experience the ship, as it's different than other cruise lines. She gave recommendations on the best places to eat, things that you didn't want to miss out on. I felt that not only was the host trying to get everyone to engage with each other, but also to immerse them in the experience of Virgin Voyages. Now, right behind them, I would name Celebrity Cruises as well. Celebrity Cruises, although they did not have a daily meetup on the ship that I sailed on the Celebrity Ascent, they had a meetup the first day and an arranged dinner for the solos who attended. Now that's great for people who don't need a daily meetup and who are just looking to connect with others, or who are just looking to find out who else is solo on the ship so they can connect as they so please. Now I found that a solo meetup like that is more my speed. I really enjoyed seeing who else was solo on the first day, and then connecting in passing or chatting in passing, connecting for a drink or even a meal, or even connecting to make excursion plans together, but not necessarily to stick together all day, the entire cruise, and make scheduled plans together. Now along those lines as well, I would say MSC. When I sailed MSC on 2 different ships, now I had 2 different experiences. My first experience was on the Magnifica, which was on its first sailing in the US. At that time, they had a solo meetup that was unhosted, and basically all they had was a sign at a bar saying this is the solo meetup. And when I went there, you couldn't tell if there were any other solos there. I couldn't tell that anybody was gathered for a solo meetup. Now, I have heard of other solos who have sailed recently and have stated that this has changed, that the solo meetup is actually hosted and it has been well attended on the Magnifica. The other MSC ship that I experienced a solo meetup on was the MSC Seashore. I did a short 3-day sailing with them and I really enjoyed their solo meetup. Again, it was hosted. They gave away free champagne to the solos. videos, and the host facilitated conversation. Now, the only downside to me on MSC was that, again, like I said, it was a 3-day cruise, and the meetup did not occur until day 2. You got only one more day, and then you're off the ship. I thought it would have been great for the solo meetup to occur on day 1, especially for a shorter cruise. Now, I don't know if it happens on the second day or later days, or even the first day on other MSC ships, but I did appreciate that they had a hosted solo meetup. So from my sailing experience this year, those were the lines with the best solo experiences. Now, who had the worst? To me, number 1 was Royal Caribbean. So far, I've recently sailed 2 Royal Caribbean ships. One was Wonder of the Seas and the other was Icon of the Seas. Now, I'm not sure if Wonder of the Seas had a solo meetup because I wasn't looking for it at that time. However, on the Icon, they did have a solo meetup listed. However, when I went, it was unhosted and there was just a sign at the bar. Again, it was one of those situations where you didn't know if anybody else at the bar was there in attendance for the solo meetup. And like I said, I'm not one to ask people, hey, are you here for the solo meetup? There are people who do that. That's just not me. So I never saw people gathering or talking in groups for a solo meetup, so I ended up just leaving. Also, throughout the ship, for introverts or for those who are just looking for a facilitated way to meet other solo cruisers, Royal Caribbean just is not the best for that. Another, I would say, the last time that I sailed was Carnival. Carnival was another one in the past where they also had a listing for a solo meetup, but it would be unhosted. And if you went to the bar, you didn't know if people were there for a solo meetup or not. And my most recent experience on Princess, it was a beautiful ship and a beautiful cruise, but unfortunately, there were no listings for solo meetups or no opportunities by the cruise line for solos to connect and to get to know other solos on the ship. Hey, if you like this content so far, if you can go ahead and give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so that you'll know when I create fresh new content like this and more. And if you want to go a little bit further to support the channel, please feel free to join my membership. I offer early access to videos and additional content exclusive for channel members. And you can also use the thank you button to say a little thank you, like for a little cup of coffee or something. But your likes and comments are very much appreciated. Now, another category that I want to talk about for being solo friendly is pricing. Just generally the best and the worst pricing for solos. Now, right now, I would say the most affordable for solos is MSC Cruise Line. Not only are their cruises more affordable, but some of their cruises you can find with no solo supplement at all. So while it's a regular cabin, you may find sailings where you're still only paying for one instead of full double occupancy. Now, the next cruise line, like I said, generally price-wise more affordable. The next one is going to be Carnival. Just generally speaking, Carnival has the second lowest pricing, which may make it more affordable for solos, even though they're paying a double occupancy rate. And I will say, now it hasn't worked for me so far, but with Carnival, a lot of solo cruisers are getting good deals through the casino, and they're taking advantage of the pricing through the casino deals. But of course, with casinos, that's a choice you have to gamble with because there are no guarantees that you will get casino offers and what those offers will be. So you play at your own risk. So through the casino deals, even if they're paying double occupancy, well, it's at a casino rate at a low per person price that it makes it most affordable and well worth the cost. Another that I find a little favor in for solo cruisers is actually Princess. Now, unfortunately, the latest ship that just came out, the Sun Princess, it does have 4 solo cabins. However, again, you have to price compare because I only looked at a couple of sailings and the solo cabin, unfortunately, was more expensive than the interior cabin at double occupancy. However, I'm naming Princess because if you're looking to stick with a line to get to the highest loyalty level in their loyalty program, then Princess offers double in their loyalty program for people who book regular cabins as a solo cruiser. So they may not have lower pricing for solo cabins, and it may be at a double occupancy rate, but if you're looking to build up loyalty in a cruise line, then as a solo cruiser, you can get to the highest loyalty level a little bit faster on Princess. Now for the best, I'm going to give an honorable mention to Virgin Voyages. Now the reason is because no, they are not a budget cruise line, they are a premium cruise line, and their prices are more premium. However, they do have solo cabins and their prices are all inclusive. Meaning for these other cruise lines, if you're adding on Wi-Fi, if you're adding on gratuities, if you're paying for fitness classes, all of those things add up and you may be close to what you would pay on Virgin, if not the same, depending on the cruise line that you choose. So with Virgin, yes, the price is higher, but there are more things that are included in that pricing. And the fact that it's an all-adult cruise line is a big bonus within itself. Okay, so those are what I consider to be the best. Now, what about the worst? And for that, I only have two on my list. And the first one is Royal Caribbean. I would say Royal Caribbean, for the same experiences that you can get on many other cruise lines, their double occupancy price is going to be a lot more expensive than the other cruise lines. Now, whether that's worth it or not depends on you. If you're someone who uses all of their features and their added amenities, then it may be worth it to you. But if you're someone who doesn't do things like water slides and the wave runner, rock climbing, if they offer those on their ships, and those are things that you don't participate in, you might be able to find another cruise line that doesn't have those amenities, and it may come out a little less expensive for you. And the next to me is Celebrity, although that's my favorite cruise line. Celebrity price-wise for solos, again, they do have solo cabins, but you have to look at their pricing. I always say to compare to the equivalent, whether it's an interior or an ocean view or a balcony, just compare that to the equivalent in paying double occupancy. Sometimes the pricing can be the same, sometimes the pricing can be a little more. But in the case of Celebrity, you have to keep an extra eye open because some of their solo cabins or booking as a solo can cost even more than double occupancy. Now, it's not for every ship, not for every sailing, so you really have to look and compare. But for charging solo cruisers even more than double occupancy on even some of their ships and some of their sailings, I say that's the worst of the worst for solo cruisers. So now you tell me, what do you think about the best and the worst for meeting people or price-wise? Who do you think is the best? Who do you think is the worst? Drop a note in the comments and let me know. I would like to know your thoughts. Well, I hope you liked today's video, and if you did, I hope you will give me a thumbs up, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.